Before we dive into today's video, I want to take a moment to honour the recent passing of Liam Payne. He played a pivotal role in many of our childhoods and will always be remembered as an essential member of One Direction. My heartfelt condolences go out to his family, his friends, and the fans who are feeling this profound loss. In times like these, community is so important, and I believe a wonderful way to celebrate his memory is to revisit some nostalgic One Direction lore.
Hello! We are One Direction! Yay!
One Direction are undeniably one of the most iconic boy bands in all of music history, featuring the members Harry Styles, Louis Tomlinson, Liam Payne, Niall Horan, and Zayn Malik. The band formed in 2010 on the hit British television show The X Factor. Initially, each member auditioned individually, though it didn't take long for the judges to notice their potential as a band. Adopting the name One Direction, the boys, who were 16 to 18 years old at the time, captured the hearts of fans all around the world. Though they placed third on the X Factor, this was only the beginning of their journey. Shortly after the season ended, the boys were offered a contract by Simon Cowell's management company, xoxo Management. xoxo Management were a lovely company to work for who treated the boys so well in the years that they worked together. Eek. In 2011, One Direction burst onto the scene with their debut single What Makes You Beautiful, which skyrocketed to #1 in the UK charts and even earned them a Brit Award for the Best British Single of the Year. From the very beginning, the band was an enormous success, inspiring many female fans to dress up as carrots, refuse to use spoons, and dance like this.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Oh, yeah.
8, and 9. For the shimmy, for the shimmy, for the shimmy, and Zayn pirouette and...
From an outsider perspective, I don't think that looks as cool as it does in my head. But with fame and popularity comes a passionate fan base and a whirlwind of drama and wild conspiracies. One particularly influential figure in the One Direction fandom was a conspiracy theorist known as Mr. X. His theory sparked significant attention, leading to police involvement and a wave of mass hysteria among fans. By 2012, One Direction's popularity was at an all-time high. They had just finished touring the world with their debut album, Up All Night, and were gearing up to release their highly anticipated second album, Take Me Home. One Direction had grown an enormous online fan base. Fans were creating accounts to engage with the boys, Boopsy was tracking the boys down everywhere, people were fighting over the boys and getting into fandom-related dramas. It was pure chaos. But that chaos only fueled the excitement surrounding One Direction. Things only got more chaotic when an anonymous account emerged known as Mr. X. The account claimed to be an insider, or someone who knew the boys and the secrets they were hiding. The account frequently posted cryptic and ominous riddles that seemed to predict events involving One Direction. Some of my favourite Mr. X riddles are: an ant cannot function alone. It needs its friends. Studies have shown. I ain't read no studies about that. And also, as night approaches, to bed go the coaches. What are the boys doing in their room? Dirty things, you can assume. What? It's so funny reading these as an adult because they're absolutely hilarious, but when I was like 10 years old, I would cry over these riddles. I was petrified of Mr. X. No, please don't call Zayn an ant. Zayn's not like an ant. Mr. X communicated with One Direction fans through Twitter and Tumblr, revealing even more information about his cryptic predictions. Fans would eagerly ask Mr. X questions, and he would only respond in riddles. An example of this is a fan asking, "Will we find out Harry's secret tonight?" And Mr. X responding, "The fans will not know of a secret, but the presence of a person will become more frequent. You know this girl from the past, and this appearance will not be her last." Okay, Dr. Seuss. There was one exception where he ditched the riddles to completely destroy a fan who had been sending him hate messages. This fan wrote, "I'm tired of your carp. I know who you are. You don't fool me." To which Mr. X replied, "Sorry, I don't own a carp, but I have a goldfish. I don't know why you think I'm trying to fool you into believing I have a carp. Like, who has a carp as a pet?" Facts. This led to many discussions within the fan base, with many fans spending a lot of time trying to decipher his clues. Ultimately, they came to the conclusion that two predictions loomed. One band member was going to come out, and another one was going to be assassinated. Today, we're going to take a deeper look into these predictions and the mass hysteria that they caused within the One Direction fandom. Let's get into it. When One Direction first formed in 2010, fans were quick to notice the strong bond between Louis Tomlinson and Harry Styles. The pair were often seen cuddling, giggling, and goofing off together, sparking what many described as a beautiful bromance. However, their friendship fueled fan theories that the two were in a secret relationship that they couldn't share with the world as their management wouldn't allow it. The duo were then referred to as Larry Stylinson, with believers of their romance being called Larrys. Despite Louis and Harry publicly denying these rumors, many fans still insisted that their relationships with women were fabricated or coerced by their management to conceal their true connection. These rumors only got worse when Mr. X started feeding into them. On November 25th, 2012, Mr. X posted a riddle to Tumblr that read, "Greetings, Prophet. The messenger arrives. Tony Kushner." Find out where this quote comes from and you will figure it all out. Mr. X. This riddle sent fans into a frenzy. From their frantic investigations, they found that the quote originated from a play called Angels in America. The play is a complex insight into the world of AIDS and homosexuality in 1980s America. The play features two couples, one gay and one straight, whose interactions lead to drama and conflict. One fan under the username Lou Zane took to Tumblr to share her theories on what this quote could mean. She believed that Mr. X was using this quote to spread the idea that what he had to say was directly linked to Louis and Harry. To her surprise, she received a message from Mr. X saying, "Good work. You were the first person to finally be aware of what I was trying to express. Mr. X." She later received another message reading, "Joe Pitt will reveal a lot about the boys. Think about it. Mr. X." Joe Pitt is the protagonist of Angels in America. He is in a relationship though is secretly homosexual. This led fans to believe that Mr. X was implying that Louis Tomlinson was restricted by his management from coming out. The funniest thing about this entire situation is that Mr. X literally just read one play and immediately sent the entire fandom into chaos. Like, at this point in time, I could have gone on Twitter and been like, "Cameron Tucker will tell you a lot about the boys. Think about it." And the entire fandom would have been in shambles. One Direction fans were known to be sleuths who could find surprisingly accurate information about anything to do with the boys. In 2012, a group of fans even hacked the airport security cameras in Auckland, New Zealand to watch Harry play on his phone in the departure lounge. But the craziest thing about this incident is that all of the footage that they posted online has been wiped from the internet, suggesting that Harry did something really weird in the departure lounge. What was that man doing in the kudu lounge? I want to know. We knew everything, down to their blood types, to every single detail about what Niall Horan was doing in that hotel room in Japan. If you know, you know, and if you don't, count yourself lucky. Given this context, it came as no surprise when fans investigated this Angels in America theory, they came to the wildest conclusions. Fans noticed that the play took place at the end of the year. Some then went to watch the Little Things behind the scenes video and found that the letters ATEOTY were scattered throughout the video, leading them to believe that it stood for "at the end of the year," meaning that Larry Stylinson was gonna come out at the end of the year, coinciding with the end of their contract with Psycho Management. Obviously, that never happened, because why would it? After the whirlwind of Larry Stylinson and the announcement that never came, Mr. X found himself in hot water. Fans were beginning to speculate that maybe this unknown figure wasn't associated with the boys and lacked the insider knowledge that he claimed to have. Amid the uncertainty, Mr. X posted one riddle that was an eerily accurate prediction. His riddle read, "One couple shall part and another shall form." Which is a bit vague, but alright. Shortly after this post, Liam Payne and his longtime girlfriend Danielle Pazer broke up, while Harry was seen holding hands with Taylor Swift in New York City, which absolutely broke my 10-year-old heart. Oh my goodness. The accuracy of this prediction was shocking to fans, increasing their fear of Mr. X and what might come next. And boy, was there a storm coming. One Direction announced that in December of 2012, they would be performing at Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden is a dream venue for most performers as it has a capacity of 19,000. What should have been an exciting moment quickly turned into chaos and despair when Mr. X released a chilling statement saying, "This is Mr. X. Say goodbye to your precious One Direction. The storm is coming. 4 will stay as 1 will fall. I have officially won. You better watch for your precious boys at Madison Square Garden. It will happen quickly. You Directioners are next." Mr. X. What the hell? Immediately, fans were in a frenzy. Many rushed to Twitter to warn the boys of the perceived danger as they desperately tried to uncover Mr. X's identity. Theories started to spread that Mr. X wasn't just a single individual, but instead a collective of people working together to unravel the lives of One Direction. In the early 2010s, the anonymous chat site Omegle gained immense popularity. Throughout the rise of Mr. X, many fans would take to the website to share false predictions and riddles with concerned fans. This only fueled the fire, causing Mr. X to trend online, even catching the attention of Simon Cowell, who tweeted, "Who is Mr. X?" Iconic. Mr. X then posted the craziest thing I have ever read in my entire life. And I've read duplicity. "A few weeks ago, you all doubted me. I proved you wrong just by saying that Hayla would be spotted out in public and Paisley would get back together on December 2nd. In a few hours, one will leave, one will get shot, two will admit, and one will commit. All when the lights disappear. Worry about the one who will wear blue, has plenty of tattoos and received the most booze. Forget about all the jokes, the one who smokes and the first who spoke. Be prepared, my dear, tomorrow it will all be here. Tick-tock goes the clock that will end it all. Don't be surprised when you see the curly one fall. I'll be in the crowd close enough to touch, but no matter what you do, it will not be enough. If all goes as planned, all will be dead. Tick-tock One Direction, you will lose your head. The birds will no longer be living. His once alive lips will be blue and cold. The Irish will no longer be able to breathe. Maybe shot, or not. While Daddy will have the arrows point him out of this boy band One Direction. That will be no more by tomorrow's performance at MSG. Toodaloo. How can you say toodaloo and then just keep going with what you're writing? Anyway. The one with the birds on his chest won't be flying much longer. They will reach their gloomiest moments at MSG tonight. Didn't use the right there, but that's alright. The boys will come on stage, preparing to sing. However, one won't, with me in the wing. The one with curly hair and emerald green eyes. Such a pity it is to see the doom arise. He'll get ready to start as I load my gun. Quick shot to the head. This boy will soon be done. You have been warned. He will soon be no more. Instead of 5 boys in one D, there will only be 4. Signed, Mr. X. What the hell? That is actually horrifying. I'm scared now. I vividly remember being 10 years old and just sobbing on my couch after reading that, refreshing Twitter thinking it was going to be the end of One Direction. And there was nothing I could do about it. I was 10 years old. How was I going to stop a man with a gun? Fans were frantically tweeting the security team of One Direction, urging them to keep the boys safe. Fans were biting their nails in anticipation, and then it happened. One Direction took the stage at Madison Square Garden. We waited anxiously, and then finally, we refreshed our Twitter and saw that a girl named Samantha Xavier had been arrested at a One Direction concert for carrying a weapon with intent to harm the boys. One fan calmed the entire fandom by summarizing the concert in the wildest tweet imaginable. The boys are safe. Zayn cried. Harry used an inhaler, which is also what I use when I want to feel safe. Niall has the highest jump. They made chicken noises. Harry picked up a bra. And a girl brought a gun but got arrested. Good night. Crazy. This is the moment that we had been waiting for. One Direction were finally saved from the threats of Mr. X. The identity of Mr. X had been exposed, and all was well in the world. Until a few days later, when it came out that none of this information was accurate, Samantha Xavier didn't exist, and Mr. X was still out there researching his literature to make vaguely threatening riddles for 12-year-olds. Over time, Mr. X posted less and less, and eventually the account died out. And just like that, peace was restored in the world. Flowers bloomed, they let Niall sing again, and all was well. What a time to be in the One Direction fandom. The trauma still haunts me to this day. Aww. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the mysterious world of Mr. X. There is nothing I love more than nostalgic One Direction lore. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time for another deep dive. As Mr. X says, toodaloo!